I got a song in my head, but I can't sing it. Hey y'all, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Messy Mondays, where we talk about everything, pop culture, reality TV, entertainment, politics. No politics today. Definitely a lot of reality TV, pop culture, entertainment, and everything else. Um, we definitely gonna mostly just talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 14 today. And welcome back. Let's let's start by just saying welcome back. Let's start right there. Let's just start with that because man, it's too much. It is too much. It is too much. I would never. Well, I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming because if you keep up with these shows like I do, if you keep up with the shows and you know what be going on, you be watching the Twitters and stuff and the accounts, like you know this moment was coming. We just didn't know like in depth what was gonna be spilled or what was gonna be like revealed in the moment when it happened because like when they were filming we had got a report. I think it was like the Jasmine brand or somebody had reported that Portia and Shamia had got into a altercation or a physical altercation that they almost almost became physical, and Drew had to get in the middle of it. But I'm not. We didn't see this on this episode, so I'm assuming that something gonna happen on this next episode. Because on the next episode, we see they're gonna be at some type of club, and then but all we see is that Drew. No, take that back. All we see is that Portia is leaving the club, and we see Shamia on the mic or something like that. So I'm assuming that the almost physical, altercation happens next episode, but I don't know. But what happened this episode was beyond what I thought was gonna happen. So they got us. Like, I know it'd be hard to keep secrets that's supposed to be going on these shows now because everything get leaked, everything it's be hard to keep secrets while filming these reality shows, everything. But man, I'm surprised they kept this one a secret though. They kept this one a secret really bad because now we got mamas sleeping with somebody's husband allegedly, and then we got a claim that a mama sleeping with her husband brother allegedly. It's too much. This too much. This is too much. Like, ain't no coming back from these claims as two best friends. Ain't no coming back from this. Ain't no coming back from this at all. Like, these two, like, you talking about this on a show that reaches millions of people. It got to this point, y'all will never come back from this. Like, ain't no coming back from this. Like, and then it made me think, were y'all ever really friends? Like, was this a friendship or convenience? But y'all been friends since like middle school. So like middle school, I think they said. So like, it just really just like, I just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But it's just so much. It's just so much that we got to talk about. But let's just start out with some news as far as Real Housewives goes, and everything else. I did want to talk about real quick. Kelly is being sued. No, Kelly need to get her priorities together. Let's just start there because Kelly, you got $70,000 teeth in your mouth and all this and that, but you being sued and you got all these monies that you need to be paying, but you got $70,000 teeth in your mouth. Like Kelly, how does that work? Like Kelly, I don't understand how that works. Like how you got all these lawsuits and everything else, but you 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 got all these, but you got $7,000 teeth in your mouth. So Kelly Kelly Potter now, because she not for real no more, but Kelly Potter, um, she was hit with a $223,000 default judgment, a legal dispute involving Nana's Chicken and Waffles began as a California judgment enforcement matter that involved later moved into Georgia courts. The filing revealed that ARL Financial LLC obtained a judgment in the Superior Court of Los Angeles County against the restaurant and two individuals, Kelly A. Porter Farrell and Chuvava Mark Farrell, who were identified as co-bloggers under personal guarantees. Court records show that a Georgia judge entered a, a default judgment against the Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kelly Potter and her restaurant Nana's Chicken and Waffles LLC. According to the judgment was entered after the court found that Nana's Chicken and Waffles LLC and Kelly A. Potter Farrell were properly served with the lawsuit and failed to file a response within the required time frame. The court ordered a total judgment that includes $217,370.21 in principal damages, $4,723.70 in attorney fees, $660 in costs from the Superior Courts of Los Angeles, $818 in costs for the Georgia action, post judgment interest at the legal rate. The judgment totals approximately $223,572 before additional interest. Um, on June 3rd, 2026, AR Financial LLC requested a court order to reinforce payment of the debt owed by Nana's Chicken and Waffles LLC and Kelly A. Potter for real. Like Kelly, um, I don't. We don't understand. A lot of us can't sit back and understand. What Kelly and a lot of these entrepreneurs go through as entrepreneurs because a lot of us that's not in that world can't judge and go through. But we can judge from what we are seeing on the on the television because why would you allow a person you are dating to put $70,000 worth of teeth in your mouth, and you owe these people $220 something $100,000? It just don't make no sense, Kelly. It don't make no sense, Kelly. Like Phaedra say, the priorities are mixed up. The girls gotta get their priorities in order. But Kelly, but like we don't believe that. Like, do we? Like, I don't know that whole dental procedure that she got, or that we don't believe that Jarvis really paid for that, do we? No, because I don't know, because we still haven't seen Jarvis yet, and she talked about Jarvis 5 episodes ago, but she did say that Shamia introduced him, but we'll get into all of that and that and that and that. But that was just some news from Kelly, um, from from her finances and everything. Kelly, get the priorities together. Just it just don't be looking. Kelly just be all over the place. But I can't say that Kelly haven't been aggravating me that much in especially this last episode, and that she's still a little aggravating sometimes, but she has grown on me a little bit, but not too much. But we'll see. Especially since, well, I can't say that because the people will say that I'm being biased because her and Portia are made up. But hey, Portia will be on this show for a long time, and Portia is my girl. So call it what you want. Call it bias, call it what you want. But I will call Portia out when Portia is wrong. I will do that. I call anybody out when they're wrong. But Portia been playing the game this season, so you just got not you after you don't been on the show for so long. You just have to know how to play the game. And Portia has been playing the game this season, and that's exactly what she did. That's exactly what she has been doing with Shamia. And unfortunately, it's not working out for Shamia, and it's not looking good for Shamia. Oh God, it's not looking good for Shamia. But we'll get into that. So let's get into that. Let's start off um with the episode. Like the girls are still. This is Scotland day 2, and they had to start this episode by just reminding us of everything that's been going on because last week they took off, but the girls are headed down for breakfast, and when they start settling down, everybody's just greeting each other, asking how everybody is doing, and Phaedra said that this had me tickled. Phaedra said that she had to investigate Tasty Blacks. That's an adult, what site, because and she had to see what it was giving because K Michelle brought up in the last episode. But apparently, you can't you can't watch things in the UK because they done banned it as of I think July something when they was over there. So apparently they was over there like I think Fraser's birthday was like in October, so they had done banned it like sometime in July, so Fraser couldn't watch it. So that was funny to me because she was like, yeah, and then Phaedra, she threw a little shade at Angela because she was like, they no somebody had asked what Angela was, and then she was like, I don't know where Bigfoot Duke is. I'm like, and then as soon as she said that, Angela came around the corner like, I heard my name. Why y'all stay on Angela and her feet? Like that's the only thing y'all got to say about Angela is her and her feet. Like I just do not understand it. But anyway, so Angela comes around and then they go outside and then they go outside and start playing these games. They are playing 3 different games. These hell games, of course, and Fraser hired some local Scotlanders to conduct these games. One of the games is causes a big log for them to throw, and then Shamil said something about that she's used to fixing big logs, and then she said something about, "Hey Gerald." I don't even know what I got to use for that because it wasn't. Was it funny? No, it wasn't funny. Shamia, this is why that man I want to build this show because that's the only time that we're gonna get any any conversation about him is when you talk about him because that was kind of uncomfortable. I bet when he seen it, he was like, "Why you had to say that?" I mean, I already don't. That man better wants you to build his show, and then you continually put his business out on this show. Yeah. So then they do like the thing when they do the big law. I think who won that first game? I can't remember who won that first game. And then they did the hammer toss. Portia won that game, and then they did a tug of war, and then team they had a team sturdy and a team mighty. Team K Michelle set that game out because she was like she don't have time to to be falling on her deflated ass. That was fun to me. K Michelle is funny. That's one thing we cannot take away from K Michelle. Even though earlier in the season she had all these dramatic antics that she was doing, but I think now I don't know something changed for Kay in the later in the season. I don't know if she just realized that she done step back a little bit and just you know get she just playing the background player because she something done changed for her. But so she didn't. So Kay Michelle didn't play. She just sat to the back. But it was Team Sturdy and Team Mighty. And Kay Michelle also said that she don't know about the she doesn't know about the healthcare over there in the UK, so she was gonna sit that one out. So of course, so Team Sturdy won, and that was Pinky, Drew, Portia, and I think Angela. And on the other side, it was Kelly, Shamia, um, Phaedra, and Cynthia. And it was so funny that when they was pulling that tug of war, that when they pulled that war, I mean when they pulled it, and Kelly was they dragged Kelly, and her little feet was up in the air the whole time. That was so funny. Like these little moments like this in Housewives is the ones that we appreciate. Is that when they can have fun like this, and then Kelly, and when Kelly got up, she was laughing at herself. Like these are the moments that we can appreciate in Housewives because it was a fun moment. Because Kelly was literally on the ground, and they was literally dragging her feet, and her little feet was up in the air like a little doll. Cause Kelly ain't but like I don't even know if Kelly is barely 5 feet. I don't even know how tall Kelly is, but they was they was dragging the mess out of Kelly. It was so funny though. Um, so after they get done with the tug of war, the ladies go in the house, and they have Phaedra have them treats waiting. It's called haggis. It's some type of uh intestines or brain, something like that. And some of them try, some of them don't. Um, Pink, Pinky tried the vegan one, and she said it was pretty good. Portia tried one, and she gagged on it. She didn't like it. And Angela, you were shady when they gonna eat you up about these at the reunion because um Angela said in her confession when Portia choked on the tree, Angela said something about I'm surprised Portia has a gay reflex. I said, ooh. One thing about Angela, she gonna shade somebody in the confession. I don't care what it is. She gonna shade somebody in the confession. Now I wonder what Portia had to say about that at the reunion. I can't wait to see. Um, so then they go to lunch, and then Portia and Kelly recap their what happened what happened the previous night when they made up and they had a little come to Jesus, and Drew said that she found it you know it was a good moment in when they was able to kind of kumbaya in the room, and Drew said who I was in there, and I felt in that moment that Shamil was gonna feel some way because when Drew knew who I was in the room, it was clear as day that everybody was in that room except for Shamia and Pinky and Kay. And not saying that if Drew and if Pinky and Kay was in that room, it probably would it probably not saying that it probably would have not went the same way. But I just felt like because Kelly was in there by herself with them, she was able to just express how she feel without anybody else chiming in, and then it just went like it did. But I could tell that when Drew said like they was able to have a good moment, who I was in there, and then when Kelly and Portia was saying they was recapping it or whatever, and they were saying that they hope that they can continue on the path of their own and all this and that whoop whoop. And in the moment they were sitting down, Shamia was like, yep, 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 yep. But in her confession though, Shamia was like, she finds it crazy that Portia can forgive other people and not her. And then I wrote, this is when I seen it turn for 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 Shamia. She was bothered that Kelly and Portia had a made up. Mm-hmm. 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 She was bothered that they had a made up. Yeah. She was bothered. I don't know if it was some jealousy or what, but she was definitely bothered, or she felt that way that they had a made up. And I think that's when the wheels started turning. Like that's when she started getting riled up. That's when she started getting riled up. So then she went in her room and she called her mama, and she was like, um, she called her mama to tell her what everything that had been happening, um, and how she just kind of felt undefeated and and everything that had been going on the trip. Then Kay and Pinky have a separate conversation, and they recap the energy that has been off between Shamia and Kay. Kay says that Shamia says that she doesn't have nobody as a friend in the group but Kelly. And Kay said that she finds that weird because she has been a friend to Shamia during this time. And she felt some way about that. Pinky says that she sees that Shamia is finding everybody in the group. Kay says that she doesn't like the person that she sees in Shamia. Kay says that she sees that Shamia has turned into a monster. Monster was a little bit of a reach, but I can't say that she's definitely like turning into like she's turning into she's turning into something that's like not pleasant to be around. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, because it seems like every time something comes up, it's like she got to be on the fence mode. hmm Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. But like Shamia, I wrote in my notes, Shamia is like a sad broken record. She's like a sad broken record. It's like every time she talks, every time she brings up the issue that she had, it's like the same story. It's like the same victim story. And then I know that Shamia may be having it hard in the group right now because she's fighting a lot of battles in the group right now. But a lot of stuff that Shamia does, it seems like that she brings it upon herself. because she brings things up or she says certain things, and then when she puts it out there, then like she starts it, and then when it's brought back to her, then it's like, okay, now I don't know how to get myself out of this, or I don't say it too much, and now I gotta put this back on myself like I'm the victim. That's not going to work, because if you say something and then you bring something to somebody that clearly has bothered them or did something to them, then you got to be able to stand on what you said and not portray yourself as the victim. You know what I'm saying? And that's it with Shamil. Like, I don't, I'm, I kind of have, I'm kind of feeling for Shamil this week, you know, because she is going through a lot. But also going to say that you brought a lot of this on yourself, because you say a lot of stuff, and then when it's brought back to you, then you want to play victim. It don't realize that you can't throw rocks and hide your hand, because that's not how it works, you know. And then a lot of people will say, "Well, Portia do the same thing, and Portia do stuff behind the scenes." Okay, if Portia does stuff behind the scenes, then let's 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 compare and contrast the things that Portia has done behind the scenes. That has down or has not been in the best interest of Shamia. And I'm just here to say, I'm not on nobody's side. I'm on the side of me. I'm not on nobody's side. I'm not on nobody's side. I'm just here to give commentary and be gone. And give my opinion on what's going on. We are watching a reality show, and we can only give our opinion and what we think about what we are seeing on on the television. Okay, amen, amen. So it's like, Shamil, yeah, you can't. It's like you Shamil, you can't play the victim and be the villain at the same time. It's like you can't do both of them, because it's not gonna work out like that for you, and clearly it's not working for you. You know, that's it. That's it. That's that's it. That's all. Mm, where we going now? Next scene, Pinky is on the phone with her assistant manager, and she is having a hard moment. I feel for Pinky on this in this moment. She is having an emotional moment, because she's saying that there is a lot of stress with her. She's stressing a lot over her business, and it's a lot of money that she's spending out. She doesn't, and it's a lot of things that she's battling with, and it's weighing a lot on her. She said that she has just in this past. Well, she was saying in this moment that she had just saw $20,000 gone in the last 24 hours. I was like, whoa, $20,000 gone in the last 24 hours is crazy, crazy, crazy. Pickett also says that she almost lost her marriage because she was not able to spend as much time with her kids because of work, and she was not able to be as present in her marriage with her husband and things like that. And I said, boom, 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 boom. There goes. She's giving very much candy in this moment. Yup. I said, there we go. We got us another little candy. Yup. We got us another little candy. Yup. Because Candy, if y'all remember, Candy had the same problem with Todd. Candy had the same problem with Todd. Candy was all about business, business, business. And well, Todd was more so the one complaining about this, but now Pinky is the one bringing it to the fore. That's the difference between Candy's situation and Pinky's situation. Pinky is the one that's bringing it to the the forefront. We don't see Derek complaining about it like Todd was. Um, but Pinky is saying, some of the same stuff that Todd was saying, that because of work she is not able to be as much present in her marriage and not be intimate with her husband like she wants to, and she is not able to spend any time with her kids. And she said that is the downside of running a multi-million-dollar business. And I'm like, dang, that's a sacrifice. And she was like, that's a sacrifice is that she has to make as a business owner and as a person that runs a multi-million-dollar business. It's like it never stops, and she has to make those sacrifices. And now here recently, she's actually opening a more franchise. I think she got one open now in Ohio and St. Louis. St. Louis, I think I seen it online. She got two new locations opening. So give it up for Pinky, man. Pinky is a boss. Pinky is a boss, and Pinky is doing it. But I just think that she's showing like what the struggle is, as far as being a business owner, and what it takes to run a business of that magnitude. And I appreciate seeing that on TV because it's refreshing to see like the struggles of what it takes. So Pinky is a good addition to this cast. I didn't know about Pinky in the beginning because it was like, girl, you on here flexing about how much money you make and how much you could throw this, but you also trying to bankruptcy and stuff. But like I say, bankruptcy is not a bad thing. But girl, you can't be out here flexing about how much money you got and how you can do this and how you can do that. And you got some issues financial. That's all I'm saying. Because you know how these girls is in Atlanta, they gonna bring it up every time. So you can flex. It's okay to flex. Cause you know what I'm saying, that you got it, flaunt it. But you gotta pick a battle. You gotta pick a battle because you gotta be on one side of the thing. You know what I'm saying? And as black people, flex, be flex as much as you want to, because we deserve that right to flex. If we reach a certain level of success, because we are always taught to be humble, be humble, be humble. No, we ain't always gotta be humble. We can flex what we don't work hard for. Yeah, we can do that because we work hard for what we have. So it's okay to flex every now and then. But you also have to find a perfect medium, because don't flex to the point where you get too big headed. Because just how God gave you all that, He can take it away. Amen. Amen. Somebody, don't get me on here preaching, cause don't get me on here preaching. But we feel for Pinky, and I think that Pinky has came on this show is a good thing, because she's able to show, like I said, what it takes to run a multi-million-dollar business, and the struggles that she has gone through, and then what it takes to rebuild it up. And she can have that success story to say that what she went through and got it back on track. I do also think that as far as her husband is concerned, she's saying that her husband is not really there for her emotionally. And I can see that, because when it comes to like I can see when it comes to the husband, like when it comes to their dynamics, um, a lot of times, well, I have seen in past episodes, like she'll say certain things to him to like reassure him, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know." What? Oh yeah, be like, "I know." I think one. I think that was Cynthia's event in Dallas, and she complimented him and said something about she caught on him or something like, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I know." Man, like to say another word, but man, you if your lady compliments you and say you handsome, you supposed to be like, "Thank you," and you look beautiful as well, and you are looking beautiful. Like, come on now, y'all men. That's a whole nother conversation because y'all, some of y'all men, y'all just trash. But I ain't finna go through all that with y'all because oh, I can go on all day. Next, um, Kelly, yeah, Fraser. I think I already said something about that, but yeah, Kelly said that the girls when they was talking about, I think when they was on the bus and Kelly was talking about the money and everything, um, they was on the bus headed to the store, and Phaedra in her confession said that the girls got to get their priorities together, and I said I agree. Kelly, because Kelly said that he bought the Jarvis, the imaginary man that she got, bought the outfit that she had on, and and the tea. She said that Shamia introduced them at a house game. Shamia be hooking everybody up in Atlanta. Like, what's going on, Shamia? Shamia, what's going on? Like, you be hooking everybody up in Atlanta. Like, Shamia know everybody in Atlanta. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Shamia know everybody in Atlanta. Like, Shamia is that girl. But it just like her personality just don't give on this show. Like, what's the problem? Like, Shamia, you got the money, you got the man, you got the you got the house, you got the lifestyle, but you just ain't got the personality. You just ain't got it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, Shamia really can be that girl. Like, if she just really cut out all the 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 all the other stuff that she thought she had to do and just lean into her being that girl, then that'll be all she had to do. But she just had to. She just so cringy and corny. Like, mm-hmm. on the way to the on the way to the store when they was on the bus, um, Drew said something about um she had a hysterectomy. She had to get physical therapy, and she said something about well, Fergie said something about the lady parts. It end up falling down on the I don't know nothing about this. I'm just saying what they said on the show. And Fergie said something about you would have to end up having intercourse in order for them to push the back up. But then Drew said something about they'll use their finger to massage it back up. And I was like, what? Hold on now. The finger, the doctor would do that? I was like, wait a minute. So then, but Phaedra confirmed that it was true. You know, Phaedra, Phaedra always be knowing the stuff. Like, how is that true? Phaedra, Phaedra be knowing the stuff. I don't know how, but Phaedra be knowing the things. Um, Then Portia started leading the ladies into Kegel exercises. Now I don't know how we get from there to there. Well, it do make sense, but I'm just saying like these women, they just be doing, they just it's just too much. It's just too much for me. But this is me from that, and it was so funny. That episode was funny. But they arrived at the store. Phaedra took them to a coat and kilt store. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Where the royals get get things customized. Um, they get things customized for them at, and also they're going to buy stashes to wear to dinner. Um, Phaedra said that this store. Oh yeah, she said this store dresses the royal family. And Phaedra is going to treat all the girls. I'm like, okay, Miss Portia. Hey, Portia got that bad. Portia got that bad. Portia, I'm doing this show since season 5, and she got this go naked hair. She got all these endorsements. Portia got that bad because she buying all these girls they things. I'm like, yes, ma'am, Portia. That's how you do it. And then Kelly asked her. She was like, well, is there a limit? Like, do we have a budget? And Portia was like, yes, there is a budget. There is a budget. There is a budget. There is a budget. But then Shamia said something about Shamia said something shady to the sense of like she said something about you can put in your car and then I'll just cash app you because she said that's how you used to do me. And I'm like, wait, that was shade. I don't think Portia caught it, but that was a little shade. I'm like, so what? So what was the purpose of that, Shamia? But I think she was just stealing her feelings about Portia and Kelly making up. So she was just taking a dig every chance she got, you know. But I mean, the girl said she was gonna pay for your stuff, so I'm like, I don't see why you was so bothered by her paying for your stuff. But I guess you was saying that I guess you was saying that she used to um I, I guess Shamil was saying that Portia used to make her put stuff on her car and Portia used to cash out her for stuff or tell her that she would, cash cash out her for it. Hmm. Hmm. But see, here's the thing though. If we not friends no more or not friendly, then why do we I don't understand why we have to fall out and then you bring up stuff that happened between us when we was friends. Or little stuff that we did for each other. We were friends. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's feeling like that, Shamil, like you really being weird right now. Because you like bringing up stuff that you did for Portia when y'all were friends. You see what I'm saying? Because it kind of feeling like that in this moment, Portia is the one fitting the bill, and then in now you got a moment where you said, okay, well, I used to fit the bill for her, and then she just tell me like she'll cash out. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna just do her the same way. Shamia, Shamia, because that wasn't even necessary. But I feel like that you're going to do that because Portia is the top dog now, and not even financial wise. I think just on the show wise, Portia is top dog now. And you reaching to get where she at as far as on the show, you know. But like I say, Shamia, you can easily you can easily be that girl, but your personality is not of a portion. It's just what it is. So Shamia said something else corny about the men free ball and everything else. I was like, okay, girl, another instance of her being corny. Um, so after that, the ladies go to dinner. And they arrive at dinner, and Kelly immediately wants to know if Portia is willing to accept the third. Portia says that I guess Kelly got turned on after Portia paid for everything at the store, and she is ready to dive into Portia's bedroom now. So now it got me thinking about what Portia said something about when y'all was in Miami last year, and she said something about you wanted to, you wanted to do the you know that we're looking at like that may be true, but I digress. Um, then Angela, being the producer, asked Drew how her music going. I was like, now we ain't talked about Drew music all season, and now here go Angela. Drew says she has a new song with Ray J. I'm like, Ray J, Ray J, out of Drew, Ray J, really? Out of all people, Ray J. Okay. K Michelle said in her confession, she was like, what she said? Of course, the producers are so messy because they went to K Michelle in her confession. She was like, "Oh, the song will do good. It'll do good. I'm not saying the song won't do good, but she insinuated that both of them are the, are are delusional. That was funny to me. But I would say I'm glad that Portia, no, I'm glad that June and K Michelle ain't fussing no more because that was kind of tired. So we can have some fun like Shade, but we can move. We ain't gotta be fussing. Like y'all ain't gotta fuss because y'all ain't because what y'all fussing about it wasn't no issue at all. So just move it along. Move it along. But then Porsche no Drew brought up a conversation that she had with Dennis to Portia and said something about that Dennis was basically just pouring his heart out and just was basically saying that you know that he he had some stuff to say about him and Portia, and Drew was asking him, "Well, do you want to get back with Portia?" Things like that, and and Portia was like that he was just questioning Portia's dating life to Drew, and Portia said that it was more so that he wasn't questioning um Mike. It was more so about Pilar. And Portia was like, "Well, she don't question Dennis about his dating life, so why should he?" And I agree. Because and there's this kind of thing. Men had this thing about when their child's mother starts dating, they have to know everything about who they dating and what's going on about the child. And not saying that they shouldn't know who their child is being around, but men do the same thing. So what's the problem? So I feel like as long as the child being taken care of and the child's not around nobody that wants to hurt them, then what's the problem? And like Portia said, she has not introduced Mike Northway to Pilar, and she would never do that unless it was serious. So what's the problem? What's the problem, Dennis? And Dennis, I'm pretty sure that you date multiple women, and have you had any of them around Pilar? And if you have you told Portia? I would hope so, because you have to question and be all in her daily life. So I would hope that any woman that you have around y'all child, you would tell Portia because you so concerned about what Portia got going on in her life. See, y'all men straight men, y'all have to know every little thing about y'all child's mother, about who they dated. But y'all wouldn't dare give them the same courtesy. I digress once again. um. So then here we go with Shamil. Shamil asked Portia if she is uncomfortable with Pilar coming around them because she says that Denny was having a conversation with Jerry and it came up that no, that Portia didn't want Pilar coming to their house anymore. And I'm like, okay, well y'all not getting along right now and y'all not really friends. So why would she want her daughter to come to your house? And Shamia, I'm gonna clock your teeth real quick, Shamia, because you didn't invite Portia to you didn't invite Portia to Jared's birthday party. So why would Portia invite or bring her daughter to your house? Huh? Let me repeat that again, Shamia. Shamia, you didn't because you and Portia are not on good terms right now. Y'all are not friendly. Y'all are not friends. So you didn't invite Portia to your to Jared's birthday party because you said that you didn't want no bad energy. You didn't want it to be anything. You and you also said that you just wanted, and I hope they bring this up at, at, at the reunion. You just wanted to be fun, good vibe. You just wanted to be people that you trusted and all this and that. And you didn't invite Portia. So why would Portia send her daughter to your house? Huh? Point proven. There we go. Portia said that if someone, Shamia, doesn't like them, that she's not going to allow her daughter to go over their house. Shamia stated that it is her decision, but she wouldn't do anything to her daughter. Okay, okay. We didn't say you wouldn't, Shamia, but once again, y'all not in a good place. Y'all not friends. Y'all not fooling with each other right now. So the girl said she not letting her daughter go over there. In the story. Portia said in her confessional that Shamir is basically poking at her right now, and she's using what's most precious to her daughter. What she using that because she know that will that would hurt her, and she's trying to use that against her. Oh, that's too much. Shamil says that Portia has told a lot of lies, and Portia says that things Portia says things have came to her last year that changed for her as far as her being her sister. Because um I think I think somebody said that because Shamia said something about that, they was Portia said something about them being sisters at the first of the season, or was that at first season, you know first of this season, season 7. I don't know. It was early in this season or season 16, one of them. But she said that some things that Portia said that some things that came back to her that had changed her that had changed as far as her being her her sister. Um, Shamia revisited that. Portia said that if Shamia came on the show as a housewife, that it would ruin their friendship. Shamia said that Portia said that the show was her thing, even though she has talents of singing, dance, and acting, and she should just focus on that because the show was her thing. Yeah. So now what I have realized and what I have gathered to know is that that conversation was not had recently, but probably was had years ago when they was first probably bringing Shamia on the show, and Portia probably did say that. Portia most likely did say that, and probably told Shamia that I'm on the show right now. This is my thing, and you got other stuff going on. You do this, you do that, you do this, and I'm on the show. This is my thing. You need well, why why don't you just focus on that? And I believe Portia said that. Mm-hmm. 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 Then Shamia brings up their parents and says that they said they would never wanted their friendship to be affected by their parents' friendship. Shamia said that Portia went on social media and talked about something that her mom did to her mom's daycare. So that was like, um, I think that was like during the aftermath of season 16. Um, because then they had to bring up something at a reunion about the daycare situation, but then it was something else that came up that they said that was uh, something that came up, but they never spoke about what happened that really happened between the moms that reunion. But baby, this when Shamia ended the clip. Okay, Shamia says that Miss Diane, as in Portia's mom, tried to sleep with her dad. My God, today. Mm, allegedly. I was not expecting that. Mm, I don't. Mm-mm. Portia said she know what she's talking about. Portia said that she did know Shamir was going to say that though, because she said that she went back and asked her mom about it. Her mom, Miss Diane, was flabbergasted. Then she said that. Then Portia says that Shamir's mom slept with her dad's brother, allegedly. It's too much. This too much. This episode went to hell. The episode that went to hell and back. I mean, this you can't go no more. You can't go no further than hell. But then after watching it twice, I'm sitting here thinking like, how did we get here? Because how did we get here to the mamas sleeping with the 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 dad is the, how did we get there? How did we get there? Because I think I think that Shamia knew she was going. I don't know if Portia probably knew Shamia was gonna bring that up sometime this season. She just didn't know when. But Portia was just probably trying to play it cool and just play the game, play along. Push and see that's what you and see. Portia is playing it like a vet in the game at this point because you gotta play it cool because you can't really how can I say this you can't really break the story or jump ahead of the story before it break. You gotta just let it play out. But see what Shamia did was Shamia played herself because Portia just let her let herself. Portia basically just let Shamia make herself out to be the fool. Yeah, that's what she did. Because Portia was never gonna bring none of this stuff up. Portia was never gonna bring nothing about none of that. About nothing about none of that. She was never gonna bring nothing of that up. She was never gonna bring up about nothing about no daughter. She was never gonna bring nothing about the mama. She was never gonna bring nothing of that up. But Shamia did, and it didn't end well. Mm-mm. I wrote that Shamia clearly was waiting for this moment with Portia. She been trying and ready for attention, getting her. She was trying and ready to get her attention all season. And Portia has been paying her dust until now. Um, so Shamia walks out, starts crying, and Kelly goes after her. Kay is at the table taking up for Shamia, but we know that that's not gonna last long because they recently just unfollowed each other. So I was like, "Ooh," I was sitting watching that like, "Okay, you taking up for her not at this table, but y'all just unfollow each other on social media." So we know something happened between now and then, or now now or then, or now until the end of the season, or now until reunion, and that led to the a following between K Michelle and Shamik. So Shamik, you just ain't got no friends on this show but Kelly, and I don't even know about Pinky. We'll see. Shamia saying that she knew everything was gonna come to a head, but that was crazy when Shamia, you the one that brought it up. Portia handled it well though because she knew because the old Portia really could have got active. Because that was really like a turn up at the table, like getting your face type of moment. Especially when you talk about my mama. When you making a claim like that about my mother, I'll base off. I'll base off. But I feel like Portia really played it. Portia played it well because she wanted to sit back and make Shamia look like the crazy one, and that's what happened. Yep. And once again, I wrote in my notes that Shamia does have the potential to be the most liked and has the chart and has the potential to be the HBIC in charge, but her personality does not hit. She just ain't got the personality. And it's crazy because you can have that. It's crazy that you can have access to all that. You can have the money, you can have the husband, you can have the kid, you can have the lifestyle, but your personality is just not the most liked. And like she has, and Shamita has friends. She has people that likes her, but on television, she just don't come across as likable. And I'm not saying that she's not liked in real life because I've seen I've heard that a lot of that she has a lot of friends. Well, apparently she does have a lot of friends, and she's like a real socialite in Atlanta, but she just don't appear as like on television. That's it. And that's just what we see on the show. But we all know that what we see on the show is not what we can see in real life. So that is a portion of what we see in real life. But that just what we have to base it upon. Sorry, you gonna say, Jamil, it's just best for you not to come back next season. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, Shamia. I know you probably never see this video, but Shamia, it's probably best for you not to come back next season. Because you and Portia's relationship will never be the same after this season. So it's just probably best for you not to come back and just leave it at that. Okay? Okay. You're good. You are a good housewife on paper though. You got the man, you got the money, you got all the things. You got all the things the girls would want. To be honest, let's talk about it, Shamir. You got all the things the girls would want. You got the man, you got the money, you got the lifestyle, you got everything. But you just not made for this show. That's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. But I think that's about it. This episode was amazing. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I can't give it a 10 because the most exciting thing happened was the dinner. And it had a little funny moments in there. It was a good episode because they had some funny moments. They had some moments where they came together and played games and they was getting along. It wasn't too much fussing. I think the only argument that was had was between Shamia and Portia at the end. You know, so it was a good episode. It was entertaining at the end most of all, but they had some good little funny moments in there. You know, throughout the end. So I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna say a 9. How about that? Um, Next week they're gonna end the trip by celebrating Phaedra's birthday, but looks like Shamia and Portia is gonna come to a. It looks like they're gonna have some type of altercation at the club or wherever they at because but the only thing that we see is that when only thing we see is that it appears that Portia is walking out as Shamir is coming in, but I don't think that's how it's gonna be because I think they all gonna get it together, but it's just gonna be a point where Portia is gonna leave after altercation or something happens. But we'll see. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. At that point, just get us to the reunion so we can see what really we can see how we can see how the reunion went. Cause they just shot the reunion with last week. No, they shot the reunion like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So at this point, let's just going to get to this reunion. Okay. Okay. But um, that's all I have for tonight. Um, hope you guys have a good night. Be sure to like, comment, do all the things. Um, you can rewatch this here. You can rewatch it on my YouTube channel when it's uploaded there in about 30 minutes or so. And just continue to follow me on all the things. Okay? You never know what you're gonna get from me. Okay? So then I'll see you guys next time. Alright. Bye.